Hello everyone, welcome to today's topic, which is the last lecture of the aggression module. This particular lecture, management of an aggressive patient, is not only important for exam but is equally important for clinical purposes. Now, I will give you an example and hopefully that will clear things as to why this is important for us as residents, post-residents, and even as consultants. Management of aggressive patients. So, first of all, let me tell you that whatever we discuss today will be from the Indian Psychiatric Society Clinical Practice Guidelines and NICE UK guidelines. So these are my references for today's lecture. Now, I will give you a very pertinent clinical scenario. You are a resident or a senior resident or a consultant and you have been called either to ICU or you have been called to the emergency, that is the ER, saying that a patient is behaving very aggressively. Or even in your own psychiatric hospital, if you have one, or in the hospital you are attached to the psychiatric hospital, a patient in the ward has become aggressive. Even sometimes police escorts bring in patients who are very aggressive. So how to handle such situations? What are the steps to be taken in detailed stepwise approach? That is what we are going to discuss today. So, first of all, let us see what is the general epidemiology of aggressive patients. So, before I start with the epidemiology, I want to give a clinical question that we can discuss throughout and also find a solution at the end of the lecture. So, you are the resident on duty and you have been called by the CMO or the EMO, that is the medical officer in charge of the emergency department, saying that there is a patient has been brought in who is very aggressive and we have given the patient midazolam, IV midazolam. You go and due to some reasons you find that the patient is very drowsy, not responding properly to your commands, and the patient becomes aggressive soon after, because as we know that the dose of midazolam, the duration of action of midazolam is very less. So after the effect wears off, patient becomes very aggressive once again, and you enter into a verbal altercation, that is an academic discourse with the emergency medicine PG, resident or the SR or the emergency or the on-duty officer or people from other departments like, who were attending the patient from surgery or medicine who were on duty at that time. So always I say that please be very thorough with the theory parts, especially the guidelines, so that we can always counter whenever any wrong, I won't say wrong, whenever any management step is taken and you feel that this is not right, always be ready with references from proper literature that these are the guidelines, this is what research says, and this is how the patient should be managed. And in that way, you can properly handle such situations. So, specifically in this case, the patient has already been given IV midazolam. And what are the points that he will present in favor or not in favor of giving of not giving or giving IV Midazolam. Personally, for me, I will not quarrel, I will enter into a kind of verbal conflict with them as to why, without informing me, they had immediately given the patient IV Midazolam. Why and all will be answered in this module. So, coming to epidemiology, so in psychiatric IPD, the prevalence is almost 18 to 25%. Most common is verbal aggression. I hope you remembered in the first module we discussed about the buses classification of aggression. Over there it was there. Now, what we need to know is that some facts that psychiatric patients are more likely to be victims of violence or aggression. Okay. Now, as the epidemiology says that in patients with SMI, I hope you know, severe mental illnesses like bipolar disorder or OCD, or mainly it's in the psychotic spectrum, ATPD, schizophrenia, and all this. They might be aggressive, but more is in patients with organic brain damage. These patients will be more aggressive than patients with SMI. Mainly, this epidemiological data is because when a patient has long-standing schizophrenia or any such long-standing disorder, psychiatric disorder, we all know that there are long-standing insults to the brain, and as the patient goes into the remission, or the patient might go into remission, patient might go into residual stage, patient might go into chronic relapsing remittent stage and all these things. So what happens as a result of all of this is basically there is severe cognitive decline. Due to the severe cognitive decline in the patient is not able to properly act out the aggression part. But patients with organic brain damage, specifically like traumatic brain injury, post-TBI patients, post-neurosurgery patients, you will find that they have the cognitive decline in some domains, but their perceptuomotor domain of their cognition is preserved, and they are very much hyperactive and even aggressive also. So with that, let's see what are the causes of aggression. So there can be medical causes and there can be psychiatric causes. So what can be the medical causes? Medical causes are delirium, as you know, hyperactive delirium, or mixed. Hyperactive is more than mixed. Next is, now delirium can be due to multiple causes. It can be due to hypoxia, dyselectrolytemia, encephalopathy. Now, not all encephalopathies can present in the same way. Some are present as hyperactive delirium, some as hyperactive delirium. Psychiatric causes. What are the common psychiatric causes? Anything that you can list basically. So we have with us acute, psychotic, episode. Then we have ATPD. Then we have acute mania, especially BD1, type 1 BD, bipolar disorder. SUD, mainly alcohol, cannabis. Stimulants like cocaine, methamphetamine, and most importantly, anabolic steroids, already discussed before, roid rage, homicidal. Patient might even become homicidal. Next, we can have ASPD, borderline personality disorder, and also BPSD, that is behavioral and psychological symptoms in dementia. Okay. Now, some more epidemiology basically. That is, in a non-violent patient, lifetime prevalence of developing aggression is non-violent patient, I am saying, not in general population. Non-violent patient lifetime prevalence is around 7.3%. 7.3%. Now, this is almost 2 times in schizophrenia. 2 times in schizo. And how much it is that? It is almost 16%. 16%. And next is that, and it is 35 times in substance use disorder. SUD, it is 35%. 35% in substance use disorders. And ultimately, we have with us, most importantly, that like other comorbid disorders, if you take all of them together, apart from substance use and schizophrenia, we will find it is around 43.6%. So, it is the highest individual in SUDs. This is an MCQ. Okay.